If you're gaming on Linux and completely confused about Proton versions, you're not alone. Experimental, Stable, Glorious Eggroll, CachyOS, V3 SLR? What does it all mean? Let me clear this up for you right now. What is up, everybody? SnackWookie here. In this video, I'm going to break down everything that you need to know about Proton. What it is, how it works, which version you should use, and how to update it. I'll keep timestamps pinned in the comments so you can jump around. Before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I just want to temper expectations. Don't expect a massive gain in frames per second. You may see a small increase in benchmarks, maybe, but probably not. What you may see is a flickering or stuttering fix, more consistent frame times, or maybe a game will finally recognize your DualShock 4 controller with a certain fork of Proton. Don't forget to like the video if you find it helpful. Check out my channel if this is your first time here. I've made a lot of videos documenting my Linux journey. And leave a comment down below with your questions or advice you'd like to share. First of all, what is Proton? To understand Proton, you first have to understand Wine. Wine is a compatibility layer that allows you to run native Windows applications on Linux. It's not quite an emulator, more like a translator. For instance, when a Windows game asks for DirectX, Wine translates that into something Linux can understand, like Vulkan or OpenGL. Proton was developed by Valve specifically for use with Steam, and it adds additional tweaks and optimizations on top of Wine. Because Linux, Wine, and by extension Proton are all open source, that means there are several forks of Proton available for you to use. And the best part? There's nothing stopping you from using different versions for different games. The default Proton comes packaged with Steam. It's labeled simply as Proton. Proton Experimental is usually the default selection. But what does that mean? Every time you run a game or open Steam, it can download and install the latest version of Proton, which is great if you want to try out the latest performance enhancements and cutting-edge fixes. But what if you'd rather have stability? Select the latest Proton Stable version, which is Proton 10-4 as of recording, and you should be all set. Sometimes the game you're trying to play still won't work. In that case, just search for the game title on ProtonDB.com. This site shows you what others have done to get games working properly. You'll see color-coded ratings. Platinum means it works perfectly. Gold means it works great with minor issues. Silver needs some tweaking. And bronze needs significant issues. I've had to go with an older version of Proton to get Slain Back from Hell to work, for example. Most games will work with the latest Proton release, but ProtonDB is your best friend for troubleshooting. And if you get a game working, contribute your own report to help the community. As you can see with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there isn't a huge difference between the 4 Proton forks. Frame rates, 1% lows, and performance are all relatively the same. That's generally what I've seen with other games I've played. The only thing I did notice was that I had inconsistent frame rates and performance issues with the December 22nd update of CachyOS Proton. There wasn't anything I could do to fix it, so I reverted back to the November 26th update. Bad updates go out from time to time. That's just how software works. Witcher 3 is another example of a game that I need to change which version of Proton I need to use if I want to play it. The game loads just fine using Proton CachyOS SLR. Here I am in White Orchard at the beginning of the game. Frame rates are good and stable, there's no flickering or stuttering, but after about 2 minutes of playtime, the game locks up and I have to terminate the process. But if I switch to Proton GE, the game is stable. No crashes. The game is running fantastic. Now, if you're using CachyOS like I am, you'll notice there are CachyOS-specific Proton forks. Why does CachyOS have its own Proton fork? For added compatibility and optimizations with the OS. You'll also see versions labeled x86-64v3. That version has added AVX2 instruction support. Basically, newer CPUs can handle certain math operations faster. If your CPU was manufactured within the past 12 years or so, it supports AVX2, and you should use the V3 version. If you're unsure, use V2, because it works on everything. Since I have a 12th gen Intel processor, it supports AVX2 instructions, so I use the V3 version of each release. You also have Steam Linux Runtime, or SLR. SLR creates a consistent environment for games regardless of your distro, reducing compatibility issues. There used to be a native option, but that's actually been removed from CachyOS because it's been removed from Arch and may not even be available depending on when you installed it. According to the CachyOS developers, they recommend removing it for simplicity. I'll have the link to that discussion page in the description below. But what about Proton GE? Proton GE is made by Glorious Eggroll. He applies his own fixes and patches to Proton, often addressing issues that Valve considers lower priority. I haven't seen an improvement in most games using a GE release versus the main or CachyOS versions of Proton. But if you have a game that's stuttering or isn't working quite right with other versions, definitely try GE. Sometimes Glorious Eggroll gets fixes out faster than Valve does. So, how do you install and update these different versions? The latest Proton Experimental and Stable releases will be distributed through Steam automatically. You shouldn't need to do anything special to get those versions. Proton CachyOS-Stable releases are available after doing a system update through your package manager. But how do you get Glorious Eggroll or the V2 or V3 versions of Proton CachyOS? Use ProtonUp-Qt. It's available in the CachyOS package installer and most other distros repositories. Close out your game launchers, open up ProtonUp-Qt, select which launcher you want to update Proton on, and then select the package you want to download. You'll see that version the next time you open Steam or Heroic Games Launcher. Go into your Steam settings and you can change the default Proton version globally, or you can set it on a per game basis by right-clicking a game, going to Properties, then Compatibility. Why are there so many options? Just like with Linux itself, it's all about giving users choice. I prefer CachyOS, others prefer Bazzite, some may want Ubuntu. There's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Each team prioritizes different fixes or different features, and that's a good thing. Valve may think a bug is a lower priority, so Glorious Eggroll will make a fix for it. It can be intimidating at first, but it doesn't have to be. So which version of Proton should you use? It's an easy answer. Use whichever one works. Here's my recommendation. If you use CachyOS, start with the CachyOS Proton SLR V3 if you have a modern CPU. Do you use a different distro? Use the one developed by that team if there is one. Don't have a distro-specific version? Start with Proton Experimental. If you run into issues, here's the troubleshooting checklist. Game crashes on launch? Try Proton Experimental first. Getting stuttering or performance issues? Test Proton GE next. Still having problems? Check ProtonDB before spending hours troubleshooting. There's no wrong answer here, but hopefully I was able to provide some clarity on what Proton does and how to use it to improve your gaming experience. So let me know in the comments, what's your CPU and distro combo, and which Proton version works best for you? Your experience could help someone else watching this video. If this video helped you out, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more Linux gaming content. If you want to see how I set up my entire gaming rig on CachyOS from scratch, I've got an entire playlist on that too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.